Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Alphonse Herrain, former Director General of Police. Today I am going to speak about the caste system in India. For many centuries, India has been plagued with this institution of caste, so much so it has created a barrier for economic development and also served as an instrument of division between people. Unless people are united, there cannot be economic progress, social progress, and the caste system has contributed in a very negative manner to our quest for prosperity. What is the caste system? The caste system, they say, is existed even in the Vedic age. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, there are references about the caste system. But there is another view which says the Aryans who invaded India brought along with them this concept of caste. In India, the caste system is divided into four groups, four castes. This is a Varna system. So, in the first caste comes the Brahmins, followed by the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. And apart from that, there is also another class called the Untouchables, the Harijans. And therefore, you find that this is classified, it has got a system of hierarchy. And the superior caste, they say, is the priestly class, that is the Brahmins. The Kshatriyas constitutes the warriors, and the Vaishyas, the traders, and the Shudras, the menial workers, and constituting the lowest level of society. An interesting aspect of this system is that the higher caste looked down upon the lower caste and perpetuated to this system to their own advantage of exploitation and creating deprivation to the lowest classes. The lowest classes were denied land and capital, and consequently they were trapped in debt and poverty. Not only that, in the social ladder they could not climb from one caste to another. A Shudra could not become a Kshatriya, and therefore a majority of these Shudras and Harijans suffered in the hands of the upper caste, and there constituted the big hiatus between the upper caste and the lower caste. Once you are born into a caste, then you continue to be in that caste, not only you, but your children, your grandchildren, and the rest of the generations. So you are trapped in that system whereby you cannot migrate from one profession to another, and you are denied the opportunity of developing yourself and fulfilling yourself. M.N. Srinivasan, a senior and an eminent sociologist, has said that this caste segments people, it separates people, and also it is endogenous in the sense that they are only allowed to marry from within their own caste. This has all created the narrow outlook, and Rabindranath Tagore, in his famous Gitanjali, has said about this: where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary deserts and of dead habit, into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. So you must understand, in those days, Tagore was fully aware of the inequalities and the exploitations, and his prayer was that from these inequalities, from these narrow-minded outlook and visions, the country may emerge to a new era, and it will have a bright future. Into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Now, one other important aspect of this caste system is that it creates a rigid society, and all the administrators, kings, Nawabs, and even the British saw to it that they did not disturb the system, because this system served their own advantage. They had no vision of developing the society or emancipating the society. Their only vision was aggrandizement of their own self and accumulation of wealth. Until the 1947, there were some reforms taking place by like the Arya Samaj, Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Vivekananda, and a host of other social reformers attempted to educate the public about the menace of this system and create an awareness. But some of these awareness can come only through legalization, and therefore we had to wait till 1947 when we got freedom. And in the year 1947, as we emerged as an independent nation, the Constitution of India was instituted, and the Constitution guaranteed equal rights and equal opportunity to all, irrespective of caste, creed, or religion. Now, the Article 14 to 18 clearly clearly are provisions which provide for every citizen to travel anywhere in the country, every citizen to have equality of opportunity, and it was also pronounced that there shall be no discrimination between any person on the basis of gender, caste, or creed. Now, the constitutional provisions are implemented and untouchability is established, and the Prevention of Atrocities Against Harijans Act was also promulgated in 1980s, and therefore all these legal provisions have brought about a vast change in our system, thereby establishing equality and equality of opportunity. It is encouraging to say that we had a Harijan President of India, a Muslim President of India, and all these so-called lower caste people who were condemned by the by earlier centuries of administration. They are liberated now, and we are progressing towards equality, and especially in the field of education. A lot of changes have taken place, which is commendable. Now, from where do we go now? In 1940s, after the independence, and even just before the independence, Sri Narayana Guru preached one religion, one God, one caste. And this message of one religion, one caste, one religion, one caste, one religion, one God has influenced history so much that this concept of discrimination has been obliterated to a large extent from the minds of people. Not only that, because of the legal provisions and enforcement of these legal provisions by the government and the police and authorities, to a large extent, these discriminations are vanishing. At the same time, you find that there is a emphasis on caste even today in certain fields, and most importantly, in the political field, the politicians harp on these caste differences for their vote bank. Therefore, I can say, even though caste system is abolished, yet in practice, even today, it is being advocated by the politicians because they want to have their vote bank secure. And where the particular community has a large majority, they will put up a candidate of that particular community so that they can win the game of elections. So therefore, though technically we are in the right path, yet practically there are certain hindrances which are taking place, and it may take a long time before people get educated and they will come out of this deadlock of casteistic outlook. Now, one more thing I would like to say before I conclude is that the technology, science, and the new era for the last 70 years has contributed a lot to the obliteration of caste system, because people are able to communicate And just as John Nesbitt has said in his Megatrends, information has become free. You are now having free information at your fingertips, and for your information, you are not dependent upon any second person. This availability of information and knowledge has created a tremendous impetus in the world, thus dispelling regional differences and cultural differences, and transcending above all that, a new horizon of knowledge is emerging. Research is there in a full swing, and we have made great progress in the last 7 years in the field of transportation, in the field of medical technology and whatnot, in the information technology. Now, I would say that it is technology that has taken the lead and provided for the obliteration of this caste system, because any person in any part of the world can communicate with any other person in another part of the world. That is a commendable situation. Moreover, the coming of the internet has accelerated our capabilities to access new technologies, to access information, and today you need not go to the library to search for information. It is in your fingertips. And I hope that these developments in technology will continue to grow and make this world free from all these aberrations of division, of aberrations of caste, and irrespective of caste and creed, we will rise above that and create a new world which will be filled with unity and prosperity. Thank you.